Hey everyone, I'm Zach Titus and welcome back to another edition of the BNEWS Sports Hub. This time we will have a conversation with the combined Woburn and Burlington girls swim team coach. Today's guests are head coach Vito Costa, Woburn swimmer Megan Sheehy, and Burlington swimmer Amelia Nagel. Robert Paris also has our Red Devil review, and we also have sophomore Eldridge for our player spotlight. That's right now on the Sports Hub. To jumpstart our discussion, we will offer you a little refresher from this season. Let's go to our Red Devil review.
Hey everyone, I'm Robert Paris and this is your Red Devil review. For the past couple of years, two communities joined forces to become one, to make the Woburn and Burlington girls swimming team with BPS resource officer Vito Costa. He told us that all the swimmers have put a tremendous effort into 2024. In the regular season, the team secured one win against the Middlesex League rival, the Stoneham Spartans, 85-48. 5 swimmers qualified for the championships: Kaylee and Riley McCarthy, Sadie Floyd, Alex Mahone, and Grace Davison. The sectionals kicked off first with a big day of newly formed records. Kaylee McCarthy finished in 4th place for her performance in the 100 freestyle at 56.92 seconds. What made this score even more interesting was that she is the new record holder for Woburn High School. Floyd had a time of 25.77 seconds in the 50 freestyle, securing 6th place. 2 more record holders for Woburn High for the 200 and 400 freestyle relay teams at 1 minute and 47 seconds and 3 minutes and 58 seconds, respectively. Both came in 8th place. Riley McCarthy came in at 1 minute and 1 second and placed 4th in the 100 backstroke. Burlington and Woburn finished in 8th place overall in the sectionals. The team had a very strong championship meet, surpassing former records from years past. The 200 medley relay team had their fastest relay of the season, clocking in at 2 minutes and 2 seconds. They were 1 second shy of the school record, currently held by the 2014 team at 2 minutes and 1 second. The McCarthy twins really put in work for the championship, and it definitely showed. Kaylee had a breakout performance in the 200 freestyle, 100 freestyle, and the 400 relay team. She had her fastest time at 2 minutes and 4 seconds, taking 5th place overall and holding the WHS record in the 200. This record was previously held by 2017 swimmer Riley Pitt at 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Things didn't stop there, as Kaylee placed 5th in the 100 freestyle at 56.22 seconds, bringing her own record and holding the Woburn High school record in this event, a record that was held since 1996 by Carrie Donahue at 57.22 seconds. Her sister Riley placed 6th overall in the 500 freestyle with a time of 5 minutes and 42 seconds. She also took 4th place in the 100 backstroke with a time of 1 minute and 2 seconds. Sadie Floyd had a very fast time at 25.85 seconds in the 50 freestyle, placing 7th, and at a time of 58.82 seconds in the 100 freestyle. School records were made in the 200 and 400 free relay team. The 200 placed 5th overall and now holds the Woburn High record at 1 minute and 46 seconds. It was formerly held by last year's team with a time of 1 minute and 48 seconds, a very close comparison. In the 400, they swam the fastest this season at 3 minutes and 53 seconds, placing 5th. Woburn and Burlington now hold the record for this event. This record was broken after last year's team finished at 4 minutes. Once again, breaking records with seconds to spare. Unbelievable. Overall, the team came in 8th place in Division II. It was quite an accomplishment for the squad, as they broke 6 school records. 2 of these records are now held by both schools: the 200 and 400 free relay, the 100 freestyle, and 200 freestyle were Woburn records. 8 seniors have departed from the team this year: Julia Campos, Megan Sheehy, Valerie Verdier, Amelia Nagel, Alessia Perduzzi, Sonali Patel, Liam Milawara, and Johnny Melahandirata. Coach Costa couldn't be prouder of his squad and what they have accomplished this season, breaking their own school records, creating new ones, and working together as a team. And that is all for your Red Devil Review. I'm Robert Paris. Back to you, Zach.
Thanks, Robert. Here we have Coach Vito Costa.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is great.
Of course. This was a really interesting season for the combined Burlington-Woburn swim team because there were a lot of losses, but I mean, there's also 6 school records broken throughout the course of the season. How do you figure those going together, and what is the overall story that those numbers tell?
The overall story goes to show how far they made it in the postseason, which is why they broke so many records. I had a great coaching staff this year. Not only was it myself, there was Coach Catherine O'Brien and Coach John O'Donnell, who was new. Coach John O'Donnell and both Coach Catherine have known a lot of these swimmers since they were kids. A lot of the workouts that we created really pushed these kids past what we thought they could handle, which you could see with all these broken records. And on top of that, a lot of these girls, which wasn't my idea, but a lot of them would set their own goals and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, or I would like to do this, I'd like to do that. And they push themselves to the brink, and then they crush some records that have been standing for quite so many years.
That's cool. That's cool. Like there's there's on one hand, all of the coaching staff is able to offer so many resources, but they also have their own motivation themselves to succeed. For the past 2 years, the team has been collaborating with the Woburn swimmers. What works with that, and what has been a challenge with that, would you say?
The biggest challenge is the scheduling. So Woburn gets out at 2 o'clock, and then Burlington doesn't get out till 3 o'clock, and they have to make their way over to the Woburn pool. So they won't get there until about 3:30, so there's a lot of lag time in between for the Woburn swimmers. However, what we would do from there is we'd create other workouts just to get the Woburn swimmers going, and then push the Burlington swimmers right into that. That could have worked out very well, where they had to come into the workout at a higher level, as opposed to kind of like warming up and then easing into it. So that pushed them pretty far, and they did very well. And that was a big challenge. But the strengths of it is just the social aspect of it, and the getting away from any sort of rivalry, which Woburn, Burlington, me growing up, we always had. So now we're an actual team, so we get away from the rivalry, and now we're making an interesting partnership, which confuses the rest of the league, which is good to see.
You guys are like the Win Street Empire of swim team.
I like it, Win Street Empire. Maybe I'll make a T-shirt with that on it.
Thank you. I want to talk to you for a minute about. So you're also the BPS school resource officer and work for the Burlington Police Department, correct?
That's correct.
So I guess how can you juggle with being a cop by day and a coach by night?
I recently have been promoted, so I'm now on the overnight shift as a supervisor.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But my time as the school resource officer and being a coach, it was almost like I was double dipping into something that was very good. So not only would I be able to see all the kids during the day, I could check in with my captains, I could see the swimmers, and then after that I can update them in real time instead of having to text them or maybe email them and wait for them to get it. I could find them, give them the information, say, hey, this is what we're doing today, and then we'd meet up for practice later on. So it worked out very well.
It works better out that way.
Yes, it does.
That's cool. How did you get the opportunity of becoming the head coach of girls swim and the assistant coach of boys swim?
That's correct. So I've been the assistant coach for the boys swim team since this is my 20th season coming up this year. So It's been some time.
Congratulations.
Yeah, me and the head coach, Steve Papag, have been together for quite some time. When the teams combined, I requested to say, hey, I would be like a liaison between the Burlington swimmers, Woburn swimmers, and just make sure that everything's tied together. So that was a great year. That was 3 seasons ago. I was the coach that brought the orange slices, so I really didn't have too many responsibilities. But then as we lost a second coach, the girls had no coach. So the Woburn Burlington team was again without a coach. So I stepped up and I said, you know what, I can handle the head coach responsibilities. And the last thing I wanted to see is either of these 2 teams go without a season just because they didn't have a coach. So I joined, I requested it, I got the head coach spot, and here we are a few seasons later, and it's a great thing.
And I mean, yeah, clearly it's worked out looking back on it. I mean,
Yep.
it's been a good decision. What have you learned, I guess, from these many years of being a coach about leadership? And I guess, what are the main takeaways from that kind of responsibility?
So the leadership role, it probably plays the biggest role out of everything, especially out of not only just the head coach, but even as the coach, you have to lead the swimmers in the proper direction. You want to give them the ability to either advocate for themselves, push for themselves, push their own goals, or you want to give them a little autonomy. However, they still need that just a little bit of guidance to get them in that right direction. So what I expected out of myself was to make sure I gave everything I had to all the swimmers that I coach, make sure they have exactly what they need, whether it's equipment or suits or a pool time or the proper workout. I got to make sure I guide them in the right direction so that they can then make their own better decisions in the future.
And I mean, the way you said that makes it's not just about their ability in the pool, but as well as just to succeed in the real world.
Yeah, succeed on your own, and there'll always be somebody there to be a little bit of a help if you need it.
That's good. You talked a little bit about you have assistant coaches. You have how many again? 3?
So for the fall girls season, there was 2 additional assistant coaches, Coach Catherine and Coach John.
Okay.
That was the fall season. Now cut to the winter season. The head coach is Steve Papagno, and then I dropped down to the assistant coach.
I see.
Yes.
What's it like working, I guess, in such a collaborative leadership environment?
So it's very different when you get to the head coach position. Yes, you will create workouts. Yes, you will give the swimmers instructions, but it becomes more administration. So you're going to handle in the paperwork, make sure physicals are correct, make sure family ID, arbiter sports, make sure the schedule is correct. It's a lot of on the phone, it's a lot of on the computer, updating stats, all right, making sure everybody has the proper information. And especially with these swimmers, the fall season with the girls, they're very driven. They wanted to see the numbers, all right, they wanted to see the old numbers so they knew exactly what it was that they had to break. And they pushed me on that, and then that kept me on my game.
So everyone's improving every
Yes,
day.
everyone's improving. Yeah, we're pushing each other.
That's cool. How have you seen? So you're taking that more administrative role, you've said, right?
Yes.
So how have you seen, I guess, from a smaller scale, the assistants working with each athlete individually? How have you seen that progress? And
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah. How have you seen each assistant coach work with the athletes individually, on that smaller scale?
Oh, what's great about at being at the assistant level is you can get really personal in regards to what maybe the workout calls for or what a swimmer might need. Yes, the head coach can also do that, but the assistant coach is kind of on the deck, really watching the kids while the head coach is kind of handling some administrative functions on the side. So your assistant coaches are integral to the program, just to keep the kids on their toes, keep them swimming, find one little deficiency, because when it comes down to swimming, it legit comes down to tenths of seconds with what you do. If you're telling them to fix their stroke, point their toes, kick their feet, whatever it is, that could take off tenths of a second, which might give you the win next to the swimmer, to your right or to your left.
So all progress really is integral to
Yes.
success in this. Okay, so I guess now we're going to be showing our player spotlight.
Hi, this is Ava Eldridge for the Players Spotlight. As a sophomore, I cannot be a captain since that is only for senior roles, which is totally fine. But basically what I do is I'm just there having a good time with my friends, and I always try to put in as much effort as I can with swimming as the sport it is, because I think it's such a great sport. And yeah, I'm just there to help out and be there whenever someone needs me. I've been swimming competitively since I was 8 years old, and just something about being in the water and just swimming is just so amazing. And it's just something that I can really it's something that comforts me, and it's something that I enjoy. And whenever whenever they go take your mark, everything just goes away, and it's just me in the pool, and it's really nice. I definitely made some new friends, but I feel like this year especially, everyone was just so close with one another. We were all there for each other, and the sportsmanship just really showed this year. I find like the atmosphere to be really like uplifting and welcoming, since like everyone's cheering everyone on, everyone's just having a good time, and you just kind of have to block out the noise when it comes to racing and like getting ready for your race, because if you don't, it will just mess with you and it will just get you to not be focused on racing. I will definitely miss all the seniors this year. They were all true leaders. They all were there for everyone. They supported everyone. They made sure to include everyone in everything that we did, whether it was pasta parties or just, doing a cheer for the team. We never missed any cheer team, and we always stretched together. And I'll definitely miss just them just like being there. Like, I remember whenever I'd be upset if I didn't do so well in a race, I would always just go to one of the seniors, and they would always just be there to support me, and I'll miss that a lot.
What should be noted is that Ava qualified for sectionals in 2 of the hardest events, the 200 IM and the 500 freestyle. Those are the longest events we have, right? They're the longest ones, and as a sophomore, she qualified for both. Very extremely hard to do, however she did it, and that just goes to show the talents that she does have.
He is a very passionate person who really does care about our sport, and I feel like he does a great job with like helping us when we need help. He'll help us if he wants to critique us on like one of our strokes, and I just think he's a great role model for everyone on the team.
She'll go out there and she'll try to beat the girl next door. That's always great to see. She wants to go forward. She wants to move fast, which when we tell her in the beginning, say, hey, listen, this girl's kind of close to you, she'll be like, all right, no problem, and she'll swim her heart out.
So in that player spotlight, we learned Ava Eldridge, a sophomore, who I guess is ineligible for a captain role because of that. How have you seen her progress as an athlete and a leader?
I've had the opportunity to coach Ava, obviously last year, her freshman year, and cut to her sophomore year this year. She's a very good swimmer, very talented. So last year, her freshman year, we called upon her to do a stroke that's not her favorite. And she did very well at it, helped the team because of her talents. Even though she didn't like it, it still helped the team overall. Took us to sectionals, took us to states. We did great at the league meet. Now cut to this year, she progressed even harder and just kept going, and she was a pleasure to have on the team. And technically, somebody younger than a senior could be a captain if it came down to it. However, with the veteran crew on this collaborative team, we have a lot of talented, a lot of good upperclassmen, and I could definitely foresee Ava in that role of captain in the future.
In the future. She has 2 years left on the team.
Yep.
So I guess how do you see her, improving in this time and eventually maybe reaching that role?
She's, as a sophomore, she's made it to states twice. So not only her freshman year, she did her sophomore year, and she can only go up from here. So she continuously swims. She's part of club teams, which in the sport of swimming, this isn't something you can just pick up when the season starts. It's extremely difficult to do that, so you have to keep up with your fitness, and she's doing that right now as we speak. So I foresee next year to be an even faster year, and she's going to have an even better year.
That's cool. What are you looking forward to, I guess, from the whole team regarding next season, and what do you expect to see? What are you looking towards?
I'm looking towards how much faster they are actually going to be next year. So at sectionals and states this year, obviously, as you saw, we had multiple broken records in both schools. So not only Woburn broken records, we saw Burlington broken records, some for numerous years back into the 90s. All right, and these records were broken. I'm excited to see what's going to take place next year, especially with how well these girls are conditioning. And now that they saw what they did in their freshman, junior, sophomore year, now this same group that I've been with for a few years, a few seasons, this same group of now going to be juniors and seniors, and even these upcoming sophomores, it's going to be a delightful season. It's going to be a fast season. Excited to see it.
How do the girls' mentality change before the start of a meet as opposed to practice? What do you see their general attitude?
The general attitude is, so during practice, when you have so many kids in the pool, we'll call out for a specific workout, or I'll stop practice altogether and we'll do, as a team, we'll do a certain workout, like, vertical kicking or sprint kicking. And in the larger groups, what's always fun to see is in practice, like I'll say, okay, everybody, we're going to do 30 seconds vertical kicking. We're going to increase that. And as I walk away, you always hear somebody go, oh. They always hate whatever I call for. They always hate it. But then when you get to the meets, it's like, hey, I need you to do this event. I know you don't like it, but I need you. And a lot of the kids will say, yep, you got it, coach. I'm here for you.
And do you see like among the swimmers themselves, like that kind of encouragement and general encouragement and like interest in getting better?
Yeah. So what's great about this veteran crew, and on top of being together for numerous years, they hang out socially, so they're all friendly, and they all talk about what they want to achieve in the future, and then they see it. Then they're like, wow, I can't believe so-and-so just broke that record. I can't believe she swam that fast. And even us coaches will look up at the clock and we'll see how fast they go. And these are incredible times. They're faster times than when I was swimming in high school. So, and it's good to see, especially for the younger kids. They get to see, like, wow, the captains tried really hard. They made it to states. They got all these medals. I want to do that next year.
And I'm sure that's like just inspiring, like not only from like a swimming perspective, but as well as just like that attitude towards life.
Yeah, life attitude is just great like that to have, to just never stop, foot on the pedal, just keep going.
Keep going, that's good. What do you enjoy most about like the time at the meets? You talked about the energy and like enthusiasm of the team, but what else, regarding the meets, have you enjoyed?
The best parts of the meet is they tend to be, as a head coach, they tend to be a little bit more low-key in regards to what you need to do for that day. So the meets are a little shorter, and I tend to do a lot of my work administratively. So I'm meeting with the other head coaches for the other team. I'm meeting with the officials, making sure all the rules are set and that the equipment's all taken care of. And my assistant coaches, they're handling the swimmers in the water, and they're pushing the kids in the water and coming up with great pre-meet workouts so that we're going to be the best like during the meet.
That's good. This year, 8 seniors are graduating in the spring. Could you talk a little about them and how they've impacted the team and what you've enjoyed seeing from them in these past 4 years?
Yeah, so the majority of the seniors, 6 of them, I just happened to be with since the first time I came on. So you get to see these kids grow. So you get to see some of the swimmers. They start in what would be lane 1, which is like your beginner lanes, and then you have to develop from there. And then you'll start moving up to lanes 2, 3, all the way to 6. 6 is your more seasoned veterans, your faster swimmers. I got the opportunity to not only see that, swimmers progress from those lower lanes, I also saw some of my swimmers, some of those seniors, start in that 6th lane, stay in that 6th lane,
wow,
and just continue to do amazing things. So I got to see a lot of that, and it was good. It's almost like watching your kids grow up.
It's a great team. It sounds. How has this season, particularly, as well as this 2024 team, impacted you the most? What have you learned specifically from this season?
From this particular season, there was a certain maturity level that I got to observe. So as I said, this crew that came on this year, the 2024 season, they said they were veteran. So we did have some seniors, some juniors, so this older crowd of swimmers that kind of had to take a lot of the team on under their wing. And on watching them do that, they pulled up a lot of these freshmen and sophomore swimmers to make them better, taking them under their wing, staying after practice for just a few extra minutes and working on flip turns or other sorts of drills or tips that they had that helped them in their older years. That only pushed this team forward. And the kids did great, and it was good to see that collaboration. It was like that every practice. Every practice was like that. Every meet was like that. It was great to see.
To see that maturity and just general collaboration.
Yes.
What message do you have to these seniors as they depart and move on to some of them swimming in the future, some of them just other things. I mean, taking away that work ethic and stuff. But what message do you have to give to them?
The message I have for my outgoing seniors is keep your foot on the gas pedal. Just keep going with whatever it is you think you're going to do in the future. Apply what we did in the water, how the workouts never stopped. They never got easy. All right, we continue forward. The girls did hard things. All right, swimming is not easy. Okay, you can't just jump in the water. All right, running a mile, as head coach Papagno, is way different than swimming a mile. All right, very difficult. Keep your foot on the gas in your studies. All right, I recommend doing sports when you're in college. All right, intramurals or join a team at your college. Just keep that foot on the gas, and even when you're done with college, just keep going, keep pushing. All right, keep that drive that I watched the 2024 season have. Keep it going.
Just constantly be working and improving.
Keep working.
So you work with on the boys, winter boys swimming, which is held at Sheehy. Both of you getting ready for the season to begin. You have a lot of returning players on that team. How do you see that season just shaping up, and what do you project for that?
So we're going to have a good season this year. We're a younger team, all right, so not so much of a veteran crew, where we do have these returning kids, but they're still on the younger side.
Okay.
So where we'll only have 2 seniors this year, which you kind of want to lean on your seniors to develop the younger kids as well. But on top of, not only do we have a couple really good seniors, we have some sophomores that are just as good. All right, and they're going to push those younger kids for us. They're going to push those younger kids into the future of this program.
That's cool. So it's like the opposite of the girls' team, yet still having the drive and energy.
Yes.
Kind of. That's cool. We will be right back.
Honestly, dude, I did the most shocking thing today. It was just something I never thought I'd do.
Did your parents find out?
My mom cried.
What'd you do?
All right, here we are. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming here and doing this. This has been a very interesting season for the combined Burlington Woburn swim team, because there have just been a lot of losses, but also 6 school records broken throughout the whole course of the season. How do you figure those going together? Do you see a correlation or story told there?
I think that swimming is such an individual sport where you can really only make progress with yourself, but that progress is able to be made in the team environment. So you're able to focus on your own goals and really break those records and do those great things while having an incredible team supporting you the whole time. Because what I think is really cool about our team is that we take all different skill levels. We have people who are swimming 25-second 50 frees and people who are swimming 40-second 50 frees. And everybody's welcome on the team, and everybody can work towards their own personal goals. And I think that's why you kind of see that difference in skill level, and I think that's what really makes the team such a fun place to be.
So it's cool that it's individual swimmers kind of add up to the shared I guess overall success of the team. That's cool. That's very unique, I guess. Swimming, like you said, is unique to that quality. For I guess the 2 years Burlington has been collaborating with the Woburn swimmers. What works with that, and is there any challenges presented? What are your thoughts, I guess, on?
I think that there's not that many challenges that you would think. I think that at certain points, communication between the 2 teams can be a little bit tricky, since we get out of school at different times and we have different group chats and different ways that athletics are run. So sometimes that can be a little bit tricky to manage, but overall, it's such a great way to meet so many new people and make so many new connections, because I've made so many friends through this team that I would have never made without it, that go to this school. And I think it's a really cool way to build that collaborative spirit and learn to work with other people, even if you don't go to the same school as them. And I think that overall it's been a very positive experience. And even though the Woburn side of the team is a bit smaller than the Burlington side, I think everybody kind of blends together pretty well, and I think that that's really cool.
That's good. It's even though it's different schools, it's a shared team. I want to talk to you a bit about the oh, sorry. I guess just tell me. I guess probably have you been swimming? How long have you been swimming, and what is your?
So I've been swimming since I was in 7th grade, and I started swimming at the Woburn Boys and Girls Club on their club team. And then my freshman year, I joined the Woburn swim team, which at the time was just Woburn. And then the year after that, we combined with Burlington, and the past 3 years have been combined. And it's definitely, I think my freshman year was definitely different than the last 3 years. I don't think in a good or bad way, but just there was 18 girls, and this year there was like closer to 40.
Wow.
So the size difference is definitely pretty evident. And I think that through combining with Burlington, we've been able to really grow the program into something that so many people can excel at and break all these records and do all these great things.
Recently, a 1996 record was broken by Kaylee McCarthy after 28 years. Can you speak a little bit about that accomplishment?
I didn't know that record was that long ago. That's actually crazy. But I can definitely speak on the competitive spirit that I think both the McCarthy twins have, Kaylee and Riley. And it's been such an inspiration to the rest of the team to see them keep pushing themselves and breaking all these records, because they've been swimming for like ever since they could walk. Like they've been in the pool for their whole lives, and being able to see them make all of this progress and break all these records is really surreal, because you know they're swimming times that most people can't swim, and it's just really cool to see them continue to grow and continue to push themselves. Even though like they came onto the team with really good times, and their times just keep getting better. And it's really just inspirational to, I think, the rest of the team to keep pushing at it and working at your goals. So I think that's crazy that record was that long ago.
28 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But, what is one thing I guess you've learned about this group particularly? Like, I guess.
That's a good question. I think overall that it's just really fun to have such a good group of girls together, because I feel like I hear from some of my friends on different sports teams that there's a lot of cliques and like drama, but on a swim team we all kind of blend together really well, because you talk to the people in your lane, you talk to your friends from school at pasta parties, you talk to new friends, and there really are just no limits on who you can meet and who you can make connections with. And there's so many different types of people on the swim team. And I think that environment is so helpful to making progress and feeling comfortable in yourself and your skills. And that sense of belonging is really just not something you find in a lot of other places. So I think the welcoming community is definitely like the coolest thing that I've learned from it, I guess.
And you know, that's definitely like incredible to see, considering, you know, it's Burlington and Woburn combined. It's just, and like you said, multiple different people on the types of people on the team. So it's just really cool to see how that works. Now let's talk about how has Vito impacted you as a coach? What is some of your key takeaways regarding him?
I think Vito has been such a fun coach and such a great person to have on the team for the past 3 years. It was definitely different having new coaching staff my sophomore year, and then it continuing to change. Like I haven't had the same coaching staff over the 4 years that I've swam in high school, but Vito's been a constant over the past 3 years, and I think that he's really helped get our team into the meets and really have fun and be excited to go to them, and really just be passionate about the team in general and pushing everyone to reach their goals and not like making anyone feel bad about their times, and kind of just understanding that we're all working towards our own goals and appreciating that.
Just like an overall like supportive figure.
Yeah.
That's cool. What does I guess he expect from you specifically as a captain? I mean, that's a
that's a tough question. I don't really know.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the things that I've done as a captain have been based off of what the captains before me have done and just kind of watching them over the years. So I feel like there's definitely ways in which the captains like interact with the coach about like merch and getting information out to the swimmers and stuff like that, and those kind of responsibilities. But I think on more of a social level, we are really the products of the captains that came before us, and kind of learning from other swimmers who we've been friends with and who we've known over the past couple of years, and trying to create that environment that's so welcoming to us for other people.
That's cool. Who are, I guess you could like talk about some of the captains maybe who have like most impacted you in the past, perhaps? Or Or
That's tough because I don't want to pick my favorites.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
I love
no,
them
of
all
course.
so much.
you can just give like examples of
yeah.
like their behavior.
I
as
think
well.
that last year we had 5 captains. The year before that we had 6, and my freshman year there were 2. So it's definitely like fluctuated a lot. And I think that having seen 2 years of Burlington and Woburn captains working together and really bringing the team together has definitely impacted me. And I think that their influence has really helped us continue to be such a cohesive team because they put in the work in making it all kind of blend together and having all these new people meet each other. And I think that that's definitely been a big part of this season.
That's good. You talk a lot about like goals and like how everyone's like pushing to getting better and improving. What keeps you motivated, like, I guess in that path, I guess, of swimming?
Yeah, I think that over the past couple of years, because I do swimming and I figure skate, so I do 2 individual sports that are all goal-based.
Yeah.
So if you don't set goals for yourself, you're just going to keep swimming the same time or keep skating the same things. So I think that having a team around you that's also pushing themselves causes you to think, oh, I don't know if I can reach this time, but I'll try my best and work hard at practices, because in swim, if you are working hard, you will see a difference. Like, you will see progress. There's no way that you can like put in all your effort in practices and not see results in meets. Like, you will see results. So I think that in itself is so motivating to keep seeing times go down or push yourself to say, oh, I think I could get that time, and then work through the whole season until you get it.
And it's cool how you connected that with figure skating, because that's like a different like set of like it seems like a very different sport, but
Yeah.
the general spirit of progress.
You'd be surprised how many like connections you can make to a lot of like individual sports based on goal setting and like having a good community that's you're not reliant on them, but they're still there to support you.
There's stuff like to learn from every sport. Okay, I guess if you had one message for yourself in the future, looking back on your time on the swim team, what would it be and why?
It would probably be like, as cheesy as it is, just keep swimming, because
That's awesome.
I really love swimming, and it's such a good exercise to do. It works like every muscle. It helps with breathing, and I just feel better when I'm like in the pool and swimming, and in whatever capacity I can to just continue swimming in some way. Like, even if I'm only going to like the YMCA like once a month, like to do something, I think is just really helpful, and it really helps my mental health and my physical health as well. So just keep swimming.
Just keep
Yeah.
swimming. That's very good. All right, well, thank you so much.
Of
That was
course.
a great interview. We will be right back for our second player interview.
Hey, Nicole, isn't your dad supposed to be here?
He's coming. He promised.
Showtime, guys. 1 minute.
All right, here we are again. Could you state your name and I guess how long you've been swimming?
My name is Amelia Nagel, and I've been swimming since middle school, like 6th, 7th grade, but I've been on the high school team the past 4 years.
Wow, that's good. I guess, so this team has found, I guess, great success during your senior year. Most notably, 6 school records have been broken or surpassed. How do you feel the season went overall?
I think the overall season went really great. There was a lot of really good sportsmanship, which is always great to see, and it's been very rewarding being a captain and feeling like I get to be a bigger part of that in a leadership role, kind of helping people, especially the freshmen. And I think this year everybody was super involved, and we got some new swimmers who are amazing athletes. And as for the broken records, we've just had some really great swimmers continue and put their full effort in, as well as we've had some new people come out of nowhere and surprise us. So that's been really exciting to see.
And I mean, you guys talked about, I guess, some of your like the leadership role of captain. Can you, I guess, give some like lessons and what you expected going into that role and what
I
you can
think
say?
expectation-wise, I don't really know what I was expecting, because I've been close friends with a lot of the captains in the past, but you never really see much into what goes on behind the scenes. But it turned out to be really great, and like I said, it feels really good to be a part of a team and feel like I get to influence the really great atmosphere that we have at practice and at meets. And I also enjoy being able to set things up like the merch and make sure everybody knows what's going on. Like we always do it's like Secret Santa, but we call it Secret Swimmer in your leagues. I love setting that up because everybody enjoys it and it's just a really fun time.
So yeah, when the team merged 3 years ago, what was that adjustment like?
So my freshman year, it was just Burlington and it wasn't very many girls. So then going to a team with 40 plus girls on it was kind of a big adjustment, but I really enjoyed it. I met a lot of people from Woburn, and even though they live close by, I wouldn't have met them otherwise. And I made some really, really close friends who I still am really close with, even though they've gone to college. So I've had a lot of long-lasting relationships, and I think that's been my favorite thing. But also, I love when we walk into swim meets and we have a huge team and the other team has a small team. Even though it feels a little mean putting everyone in events, and sometimes 2 events, 2 heats for events, it's fun. We have a lot of energy, and it's really nice to spread that.
It's like the Woburn Burlington swim empire,
Yeah.
I guess. That's cool. Outside, I mean, so you talked about like the social aspect of a lot of it, like the secret swimmers, you said,
Yep,
right?
yeah.
And stuff like that. So what are some other examples of how everyone stays connected as a group?
I'd say the biggest thing, and I know a lot of other sports do this, is pasta parties. I'd say we get pretty into like the themes and making sure there's one every week, and we have a lot of people who bring desserts every time, so it's a very community-based thing, and everybody looks forward to them. And I also think it's a nice way to not get too worried about meets the next day, because I know it can be easy to get wrapped up in like, oh, I need a certain time, and it gets very stressful sometimes, especially later in the season. And I feel like pasta parties were a great way to unwind and relax, and they were very social. But even beyond that, I know every time we had a meet or even a long practice, people would always be asking other people to go get food, and everyone was really included, and it's really nice to see.
That's cool. I guess what can you say about Coach Vito? How has he impacted your growth in swimming and just success?
I would say that he's probably my favorite coach I've had. I've obviously had many different coaches because started Burlington, and then like Meg was saying, we've had pretty much different people every year, but Vito has been constant through all that. I think he's done a really great job of embracing our weaknesses and strengths, so that everybody has their moment to shine and everybody's able to swim what they want to swim and feel included in like an important part of the team, which I think is hard to find a lot of other sports, even in my own experience, and it's a really great thing to see for myself and everybody else on the team.
What is, I guess, your favorite part about being on this team particularly?
Well, I really love swimming. When I first started swimming, I was kind of in between sports. Some things happened injury-wise, so I had to quit one. And then going from gymnastics to swim was a huge difference, but I really loved it. And being able to pick up something so quickly and find a passion for it is really exciting, and I think it's very hard to come by, especially as you get older. So finding that in middle school is really important to me, and being able to keep that, and even if I'm not doing it in college, I always know there's a place for me to be, whether it's club or intramurals. I always know I'll be able to connect with a community.
That's cool. You mentioned you did gymnastics as well.
Mm-hmm.
What other sports? What is your sport?
So yeah, in the past I was pretty committed to gymnastics. Didn't go too far, obviously.
Yeah.
But I also do track for BHS, which is, I'd say, pretty adjacent to swim. I don't like it as much, but...
What event?
I've done distance, and last year I was put in hurdling and sprinting, so I've done a whole bunch of stuff. But I really enjoy sort of endurance sports that are not necessarily team-based, but I find a lot of community within them.
That's cool. It's like, and there's still like that connection, like you talked about a little bit, like of just getting better and constantly improving. So that's cool. What will you miss from your teammates graduating? I mean, there's a lot you've talked about, but what are like the key things?
I think the big thing will obviously be being in the pool with my friends. Of course, I'm going to miss that. But I think I'm definitely going to miss mostly my relationships with people in Woburn, because it's a very busy time of year, especially senior year, and it's hard to find time to connect with people who I don't see every day at school. So that always kind of sucks, but we try our best, and I always know they're still there, but I'm going to miss them a lot.
Nice. I mean, I guess that's like the other side of such a good community. I mean,
yeah, it's hard to leave.
Yeah. Overall, how would you describe your performance this season?
I would say I'm really proud of myself. I think even though I really enjoy the sport, it's always easy to hit a point where you're just kind of like, I feel like I'm not improving, and you feel like times aren't dropping, and I definitely feel like I struggled with that a little this year, but I definitely got over it, and I'm proud of my overall performance, and I'm excited to continue doing swim some way in college, even if it's not in a division, but yeah.
It'll always still be there.
Yeah.
I guess if you had one piece of advice or one takeaway that you got from this whole swim career, what would it be moving forward?
I think it would be, even if it's a little cheesy, like you can do hard things. Swim is definitely, for me, a very mentally challenging sport. A lot of endurance is needed, and you're not able to breathe all the time, and those are hard sports to do. But I think being able to push through those hard races, or the races or practices where I feel like I just want to give up, has taught me that I'm strong and I can do whatever I put my mind to, and it all works out in the end. Even if it's a hard race in the moment, you'll be fine after.
We will wrap up this episode in a moment. Well, it looks like that's our show. I've been your host, Zach Titus. We also like to thank Vito Costa, Megan Sheehy, Amelia, Nagel, and Ava Eldridge for their time. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.